What's up, my YouTube family? Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade, back with another Division 2 video. And as most of you know by now, the game changed the Striker gear set a little while back. They made some improvements, and today I wanted to show you one of my favorite builds using that gear set and the Savage Wolverine AR. It's an absolute monster. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does help us out. So the first thing I'd like to mention, as I do at the beginning of every build video I put together, is I want to remind you, especially if you're a new and returning player, that this is just a template. This is one of so many different ways you can run with a Striker build, and the most important thing, in my opinion, is really take your time and make a build your own. And what I mean when I say that is you may look at this build and say, you know what, I want more armor or less armor and more weapon damage, or a different talent on the chest or bag, or a different bag entirely. Again, we'll go over a few options throughout the build itself, but take your time and really cater it towards your game style. As always, I'm starting off with a little bit of game footage, then we're going to cut to the build itself, and then a little more footage at the end, and at that point, I want to go over a few tips to pass along to new and returning players. Now, as you can see here, I'm on Heroic Difficulty, American History Museum, and you're just shredding through heroic NPCs. The gun is so much fun to use. It takes you a little while to get used to the proximity in which you need to be to NPCs to really have all the talents procced, but again, it is such a powerful weapon and gear set. So as we get into the build, the first thing I want to address for new and returning players is how do you actually get the Savage Wolverine blueprint? And what you need to do is you need to activate the firewall specialization, you need to go to field research, and you need to get to stage 4. You can see on the right hand side, my friends, all the steps you need to take in order to get the blueprint for the Savage Wolverine. It's really not that big of a grind, and it is definitely worth your time because this weapon is just a machine. Now on to the specialization itself. You can see I'm using firewall, and I'm doing that for a few different reasons. First of all, you have the ability to use the Striker shield. That thing is absolutely awesome. You also have the tactical link, which gives you an extra weapon damage bonus to enemies within 10 meters, and regardless of which specialization you choose, make sure you have the proper weapons activated in the weapon skill tree. That way you get the additional weapon damage bonus as well. Starting off with the primary weapon, obviously it's the Savage Wolverine. Because of its talent perfectly close and personal, killing a target within 7 meters grants 38% weapon damage for 10 seconds. And with that talent, I'm telling you right now, you will shred through NPCs when it's used in conjunction with your chest and backpack. My secondary weapon is the Scorpio shotgun, just in case things get sideways. I love having that thing equipped. For my handgun, it's a TDI card. Don't really use it that much with this build. Now, as far as the gear, you can see I'm running 4 Striker, the MEMENTO backpack, and 1 Fenris. Starting off with the mask, it's the first piece of Striker that we're using in the gear set. We're using all 4 pieces so we get all of the bonuses. The 2-piece gives you 15% weapon handling, the 3-piece is 15% rate of fire, and the 4-piece is Striker's Gamble. With that talent, weapon hits amplify your total weapon damage by 0.5%, stacking up to 50 times. Now moving on to the body armor, it's the 1 piece of Fenris we have equipped, so we get that 10% assault rifle damage bonus, and I've chosen the talent Intimidate, and with that talent, while you have bonus armor, it amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. And if you're using that in conjunction with, perfectly close and personal, and with the bonus armor you're getting with a MEMENTO backpack, you are just stacking damage all across the board. Moving on to the holster, the knee pads, and the gloves, they are the 3 remaining pieces of the Striker's gear set we have equipped, and I'm pretty much stacking them with crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can. Now my goal would be to be able to switch the core attribute from weapon damage to armor on a few other pieces so I could have a little more survivability, but these are the best pieces I have. Finally, my friends, we have the MEMENTO backpack. This is by far the best bag and slot for a build like this. Now, if you don't have it, I will leave a link to a farming video on how to get it in the description down below, but I strongly recommend picking it up because with this, it drops trophies, and those trophies are going to give you a bonus to your weapon damage, your armor, as well as your skill efficiency. Now, for those of you that don't have the Memento, I recommend picking up, let's say, a piece of Walker and Harris, put the talent Adrenaline Rush on there. It's going to help out a lot as well. It will work with your chest piece also because you're going to be getting bonus armor when you're close to NPCs. And as I start to wrap this thing up, this is the point where I like to pass a few tips to new and returning players on how to really get started when trying out a new build. And the most important thing, in my opinion, is go to a mission or control point or anything in the game that you're familiar with. And the main reason I recommend that is when you go to those areas of the game that you are familiar with, you know the timing of the NPC, and because of that, you can truly see how the build responds to your gameplay, therefore make a determination on what works for you and what you may want to change. At this point, I'm sure most of you know by now, one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the community we have here at the channel, everyone working together and helping each other out. So as always, if you have any tips or tricks or ways you like to run with this build that I didn't mention here, I mean, there are countless ways to run with something like this. Please let me know in the comments section down below, as we want to pass along as much information as we can. On that note, I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support of this channel, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button as well. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
The True Sons seem to be in control of the holding area. The hyenas are knocking out security cameras. Pretty smart of them.
Reinforcements incoming.
Just lost the camera feed from the holding area. There was a bright flash and then static. holding area is just ahead. Once you find that laptop, grab it and get the hell out of there.
Looks like you got True Sun's reinforcements headed your way.
North or south side?
Both. Heavier concentration to the south.
With all those gates sealed, the north exit should be closer.